I absolutely love gin. I also am falling head over heels in love with absinthe. So what happens if we smush the two together? How's it going, chasers? I hope you're having a kick-ass week. I'm Jesse, this is Distilled, and we are making, do we call it Ginsinthe? I guess that makes sense, right? If someone has a better name for this, let's roll. But the basic plan is I love both spirits and I want to kind of smush them together. I have been playing around with drinking absinthe kind of like gin, so having it in an absinthe and tonic or in a cocktail where you would normally use gin. So I thought, why not? Let's just smush the two together. I have kind of tried this before in the past and the video kind of flopped. And I also think I can make a better spirit this time around. Let's get stuck in. Like most products like this, we're going to be starting with vodka into the little air still, because this thing tends to not scorch anything. It is wonderful. I've just realized that was a litre of vodka that went in there. It is the slightly smoky vodka I made to make the yerba mate absinthe a little while ago. I'll put a link down there if you want to check that out. Absolutely delicious. And I think we're going to get Alan Bishop to taste that and let us know what he thinks of it. But I've just realized I've got a little bit more vodka. Hold on. I may as well make a little extra of this because I'll be real, I know it's going to get drunk. Pretty much no matter what happens from here on in, it's going to be delicious. So that is 1.4 litres of vodka at 50% ABV. Now let's get stuck straight into the two ingredients that are most important for this, in my mind. The first is, rubber band, there you go. First is 36 grams of juniper. I'm not going to crush this time. I'm going to play around with leaving it all whole. So we can put that into the pot. And of course, wormwood. I have these three little puddles weighed out here, and that is 36 grams of wormwood as well. You can't make gin without juniper, and you can't make absinthe without wormwood. That's why they're the most important in my mind. Let's move on to the other more absinthe sort of style ingredients. 26 grams of fennel. I'm going to whack that in a pestle and mortar and just cover it up so I don't spill it everywhere. I'm not worried about actually like pulverizing it. I just kind of want to bruise it up a little bit. 26 grams of whole aniseed as well. We'll give that the same treatment. And in it goes. 2 grams of dried mint. We don't need to do anything to that. I can go straight in the pot. 12 grams of coriander. And we're just going to give this a, I guess we'll call it a cracking. We're just basically splitting all of the coriander seeds into halves, or most of them. You can hear them popping. It's kind of satisfying. And dang, man, you can really smell them when you crack them open. Delicious. 1.5 grams of liquorice root. For this one, I've switched over to liquorice root instead of angelica root. I don't really know why, it just kind of feels right. Part of the reason that I did that is I've also added orange peel to this as well. Orange and absinthe, delicious together. Orange and licorice, delicious together. I don't know, we're just kind of rolling with it. So, we need to peel, let me get this on, 4 grams of, that's 2.5. You know what, 4.4 grams of orange I am happy with. Having scales like this, like small digital scales that have a really good resolution for weighing out botanicals, absolutely priceless. I realized how priceless they are the last time I tried to measure them with my large kitchen scales. And when you're trying to measure 8 grams, you might be off by 10 grams. It's ridiculous. I'm never going back. We're also going with 4 grams of lime peel. 1.4. 3.2. 4.4 again. I'll take it. And last but not to be outdone, another 4 grams. That's 3. Of lemon peel, 4.2. Close enough for me. Give it a little stir to make sure everything's wet. By the way, we do sell these, but only from our American warehouse at the moment. We're working on getting them into New Zealand. So if you are in America or any of the other places we ship to from the American warehouse, You can pick these up, they're pretty damn cheap. All right, now I need to get this plugged in and warmed up to around about 50 degrees Celsius. So I have my thermometer ready. Get this plugged in. Just plug this in to make sure we have power and it's working. We do not. That's better. All right, we don't need that for now. I'm just going to sit here and watch this and make sure I don't overheat it, because that would be really dumb. Yum, smells delicious. All right, 50 degrees Celsius. I'll unplug the still to make absolutely certain it's off. Pop the lid on, and we're going to let this macerate for about 2 hours. You can let this go up to about 24. Probably will get a little bit more flavor. 2 hours is what I'm going to do today, though. I'll be back in 2 hours. All right, I managed to get distracted and drag that out to 3 hours. 350 mils of water to get that down to 40% ABV. Lid goes back on and we can fire this bad boy up. Always helps if you plug it in. Boom. We are up and running. First drips coming out. Collected about probably 30 mils in there. Yeah, let's call it there. Boom. All right. So the last time I made this, the easiest way to describe it was kind of like gin heavy or absinthe light. And I gotta say, man, I was kind of into it. So I've made a few tweaks based on kind of the flavor changes that I wanted on that last recipe. The last one was really good. There was nothing wrong with it. Just personal preference, I think. Gonna dial it in a little bit more. Right now we've primarily got the citrus action. The orange is actually kind of beating out the others, along with a little bit of juniper and a little bit of wormwood. Dude, I have high hopes for this run, and I'm gonna have to play around with cocktails to drink this with. So if you have any suggestions on what cocktails, mixes, whatever, to drink a gin absinthe mashup with, have at it. Let me know down in the comments. I know I don't get to reply to like almost anyone anymore. It's just got to the point where it's silly, but I do go through and read them often, and I appreciate your feedback. I will try any cocktails that look good. Anywho, we got a little bit of a run ahead of us, so we'll settle in, see what happens. Yum. All right, we're past the citrus. Not getting a lot of juniper anymore either, funnily enough. Now we're kind of into the aniseed, fennel, and licorice flavor. Just about every time I make a run of something like this, where there's a bunch of botanicals in the pot and it's something new, I always freak out that a specific flavor is coming through too strong and it's going to overwhelm things. And then inevitably, at the end, when it kind of all mixes out, you know, in average in the collection jar, it's fine. Right now, I'm stressing that maybe I put too much licorice root in there. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. We are about 400 mils, 450 mils in now. The fennel, anise, and the licorice root have faded. I think I was stressing about nothing. And now we're starting to get into the more earthy, funnily enough, mint. I wasn't expecting mint at this part in the run, although thinking about it, that is where it shows up sometimes, so I should have expected it. And coriander. So this is going according to plan. I've probably got about, I don't know, maybe another 100, 200 mils to run out. I'll let you know when I'm starting to think about cutting to tails. It's time to say a huge, huge thank you to the Patreons. Thank you, Patreons, for being the people that support us day in, month out. We totally freaking appreciate it. Once again, thank you for the support and the ideas on the new Into the AM shirt collaboration. If you haven't seen it yet, there is like a working draft up on the platform at the moment. If you have any input, check it out. Let us know, because we're trying to get towards getting that thing out. All right, I'm going to call it there. It still tastes fine. I can just tell that the ABV is starting to drop. I'm guessing it's probably between 50, 55%, somewhere around there. It still tastes fine. It's just, the flavor's just starting to back off a little bit. Interestingly enough, I'm still getting Quite an interesting earthy note at the end with that, I guess it has to be the licorice root. All right, I'll get this proofed down. We'll let it sit for a few hours and I'll come back and taste it. Change in plan, I decided to let this sit for 3 days to kind of bring itself back together a little bit more. You know, tasting it literally an hour or two after it's been proofed down seemed a little unfair on the spirit. So here we go. Ooh. Okay, interesting. I'm getting mostly the juniper, kind of the softer, a little bit sappy, but kind of more on the berryish sweet side of juniper, and the kind of herbal herbaceousness of the wormwood are the two main things I'm getting. Sitting below that, I'm getting the coriander, a small amount of it, and the fennel, anise, and licorice are all kind of blending together and just present on the nose. And the citrus is kind of doing the same thing. So it's more sweet and orangey than lemon, but it's just kind of a generic citrus note on the nose, mostly. Very, very pleasant. All right. Okay. Yeah, that, yes, this is pretty damn close to what I had in my head when I thought about remaking this spirit. When it first hits your tongue, it tastes like a gin. And then the wormwood kind of comes out of nowhere and slaps you around, that herbal flavor that makes you think it's going to get very, very bitter, but it never quite gets to bitter because right in behind that, the fennel, the anise, and the licorice come in and sweeten it right up. It feels like it's going to finish sweet and sticky. And then you swallow and you realize that it's actually quite a dry spirit. I mean, obviously there's no sugar in it. And the citrus kind of rounds out the sweetness, and then the slight bitter finish from the wormwood comes in. And now my mouth's salivating and I really want to drink more. So, huge success. I'm happy with this. Let's try a couple of super basic cocktails and see how it does in that. Gin and tonic and a dirty martini. Yes, I have a dirty great big spear in my drink. That's all I could find on short notice. But these are the two ways that I drink gin the most because they're delicious. They, in my mind, kind of show off the gin depending on the kind of gin. They pair with the gin well, and probably most importantly, they're just really freaking easy to make and they're delicious. So, gin and tonic. Well, Ginsinthe and tonic. Yum. That mutes the licorice, aniseed, and licorice a little bit. Brings out the wormwood and the juniper more, I'm pretty sure, than the neat liquor. This, I am very intrigued about. I was cautious about all of the kind of the more sweet stuff in here. The anise, the fennel, the licorice. But that big herbaceous hit of wormwood kind of, I don't know, it's not salty, but it definitely is on the savory side because of it. So, here we go. Ooh. I need an olive. That 100% works. Okay, a couple of really surprising things here. First of all, yes, the wormwood is still totally there. Yes, it's coming out, but I think the salt and the brine is kind of just giving it more of an overall savory appeal rather than, it doesn't taste specifically like wormwood anymore. And the slight bitterness from the wormwood plays really nice with that salt. Like it all just kind of makes sense. The vermouth is adding to the overall herbaceous quality of the drink. So I don't know how to quite put that. God damn, that's Moorish. Man, the vermouth profile and the absinthe profile are similar enough that they're kind of amplifying each other, which normally I would say is not good in a dirty martini. Like normally I like them relatively dry, not a whole lot of vermouth. I mostly want to taste gin and olive. But in this it really works because there's that extra kind of bitterness of the wormwood to dry it all out. The thing that's really interesting to me is this is bringing the mint out. And if you had told me that ahead of time, I would have said that was a bad thing, but dang, man. Delicious. Yum. Okay, so I'm going to call this a raging success. If you have the means and you're keen to try this, I thoroughly suggest you do so. And obviously, if you try out some interesting cocktails with it, make sure you let us know, because I am very much keen to try them. Anyway, I'll catch you next time. Keep chasing the craft. See ya.